Erling Haaland becoming the fastest player to score 20 goals in the Premier League, doing so in 14 appearances. Yes, it is ridiculous numbers. He's also been directly involved in 100 goals in 81 appearances across the Premier League and Bundesliga. That's 82 goals and 18 assists. Jack Grealish also picked up 2 assists at Elland Road last night. Boss Pep Guardiola spoke to talkSPORT after the game, and he heaped praise on his winger.
Yeah, Jack is so generous. He could score and make the assists, but of course we want him more. We want him to have the mentality to score the goals. We have to have the quality. We saw him in the training session to score the goals, and he has to do it. It's just a question of the man saying, I'm going to score. Have doubt in his mind to score. When he's going to disappear, he's going to do the difference. Today was brilliant because when we can rest the ball with Riyad and the other one, give us an extra pass, and that helps us to play better.
Joining us now to cast his eye over the Danny Mills derby, which took place last night, Leeds versus mancity, is indeed the one and only Danny Mills. Danny, welcome, mate. How are you?
Good morning, gents. How are you?
Good morning, mate. You all right?
Yeah, very good. Very good indeed. Very good indeed. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Erling Haaland? Because the numbers that this man is generating is absolutely ridiculous. He is a beast of a footballer.
He's sensational. I said before he came to the Premier League, if he comes to Manchester City, that there's no reason why he couldn't score, 40, 50 goals. Maybe that was a little bit flippant comment at the time, but I think he's got every single attribute that you would want in the perfect centre forward. If you were going to build a centre forward from scratch, some mad science project, you
wouldn't be me, Danny.
Well, here we go. Apart from just the number of goals, Gav, if I'm honest.
How do you stop him, Danny?
I think it's very, very difficult. But this is what I mean. When you look at, he's got pace. People forget that he's ridiculously quick because he's 6'5", and he's an absolute unit. He's broad, he's big. He's not slender in any way, shape, or form. They look at him thinking, "Oh, he looks a little bit cumbersome." But when he gets going, he's unstoppable pace-wise. He's great in the air. We've seen that. He's got superb touch. His awareness of being able to find space is sensational. Even in the early part of the season where he was getting a little bit of stick, where people say, "Oh, he's only having 9 touches." Oh, yeah, but he scored that trick. His ability to come away from the ball at times, get on the shoulder of defenders, find that little pocket of space, then dart into it, be in the right place at the right time, which I don't think you can teach. I think a lot of that has to come naturally, is absolutely sensational. And I'm not sure how you do stop him. Of course, there's going to be games where he doesn't score, or he has a game where he misses a couple of chances, like he did in the first, few minutes of the game. You normally expect him to put that away. But I think then he's got that confidence to just go, keep giving me. I'll go again. Even if I've missed one, not bothered. We keep going. And you do start to wonder now, what's the record in the Premier League? 30 something?
Yeah, 34. Yeah.
This could be.
He's only 14 off it. He's got 23 games to go.
This could be a Clive Allen season. What did Clive Allen score? 44 or something? 45 in the top division. It could break that record. In far less games. He's just absolutely magnificent.
And it's the rest as well, isn't it? The rest that he's had. Does he need resting again this season as much?
I don't think he does, Gab. No. In all honesty, because I think, as he said himself in his interview last night, what's happened is, he clearly loves playing football. It's all he wants to do. That's the most important thing in his life. He's missed it for 6-7 weeks. He's not had it at all, and he's almost he's been chomping at the bit, desperate to get back out on that football pitch, and that's exactly what he's done. And you can see that he plays with such energy. He plays with such a desire, but also fun. With that smile on his face, I think it's energising for the rest of the team.
Mixed bag last night for Jack Grealish. Obviously, social media loves to get stuck into him when he's missing chances in front of goals. We've just been speaking about Erling Haaland. He missed a couple in the first half, as did Ilkay Gundogan. But second half, he seemed to get it together, Danny, and obviously got a couple of assists in there as well. What did you make not only of his performance last night, but his tenure so far at City?
I think you have to say it's been a little bit difficult for him. It was a huge move. I'm not interested in the transfer fee. That's irrelevant. That's nothing to do with Jack. He's obviously a very, very good player, but I think going to Manchester City, having to learn to play a different way, has been a little bit difficult for him. You know, he's found that tough at times. You know, City is about pass and move, you know, 1-2 touches. Jack's game is more about picking the ball up, running at people, drawing people in, either going past them or drawing the foul. And sometimes that slows the game down a little bit. And I think you can see Pep gets a little bit frustrated with that at times. So between them, they've got to find a balance. Manchester City have to realise that's the player they bought. You know, they didn't buy a player that plays 1 and 2 touch all the time. They bought a ball carrier, a dribbler. So they have to understand, you know, what Jack is. Jack also has to adapt a little bit. Maybe he suffered a little bit, you know, a dip in confidence. Obviously, didn't play too much before the World Cup. I think he's got 1 goal in his last 18 games. And sometimes it happens. You know, I'm sure Gabby will tell you when you go through that period, you start to second guess yourself in front of goal. And maybe that's what he did last night. Had some great chances. Probably didn't help. Again, it gets the crowd on his back sometimes, going down a little bit easy. Spoke to quite a few Leeds fans last night. They were sort of fuming the way that he was going down and staying down too often at times, you know, trying to buy those fouls. When you're playing well, you can ride that. You can get away with it. When you're not scoring and then you miss a chance and the crowd on your back, it can affect you for the next chance. And maybe that's just what happens. It just needs a couple of goals, you know, 2 or 3 goals to get himself going, to settle down. He's a very, very good player. You know, we've seen that. But all players go through that period where, you know, they have a confidence blip.
I totally agree. I think when you look at the first half and think, I should have scored, he knows the standards that he's got. You know, I played with him, I trained with him.
He's got to hit the target.
Yeah, he's a very good finisher, and he will look at them chances.
If the keeper makes an outstanding save, you go, you know what, fair enough. But to miss the target where he wasn't really under too much pressure. I know he was stretching a couple of times, but even still, if that falls to Haaland hits the target. Kane hits the target.
Yeah, but the thing is, Danny, he will know that. He will know that.
Yeah.
You know, he should put that away. He knows the quality that he's got. He will be delighted to get 2 assists. You know, everyone talks about stats, don't they? Oh, how many assists and goals have we got? He would have thought to himself, running through, I can shoot, but you know what? The right thing to do was pass to Haaland. He slots it in. But he will know in the future games he's got to score some of these chances, and Jack's not one to hide away from that. He will know he can do better. But I wanted to ask you about Leeds, Danny, because watching the game, I thought they looked very more organised. You know, there wasn't pushing forward. Was they going mad? I think
talked about it yesterday, Gabby, and to a little bit. I said, I don't think you can. We know their normal style is a little bit, you know, gung ho and a take on Bielsa ball, if you like. You know, with high press, people running everywhere. Not quite as not playing this sort of the man to man system, but it has been a bit sort of scattergun at times. You know, high energy. You can't do that against Manchester City. No chance. Because, you know, they will outplay you. They will pick you off. They will dominate possession, and you'll be burnt out by half time. I
think they've got enough though, Danny, Leeds. From what I saw yesterday.
Oh, they'll stay up.
Yeah,
I think they'll stay up.
I don't think they'll have a problem.
Last night was never going to be. If they got a point, I said if they got a point last night, you'd have taken that immediately. That's not going to determine whether they stay up or not. I think they've got enough. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. But games against City, if you get a point and you play well, you go, you know what, you take that all day long. If you get battered, and I think, what was it, 70-odd% possession for City, and I think Leeds had 1 shot on target. That can happen against Manchester City. It can happen against Liverpool. It can happen against Arsenal, this season. There are some very, very good teams with some exceptional players out there that make it very, very difficult. It's like playing against Arsenal, Man United, back in the day when we were playing. If you got a point out of those games, you went,
celebrating, aren't you? After the game?
You're going home. And, thinking, wow, we've got a point. What a fantastic result that is. So, Leeds will be fine. I think they need to bring in some signings. I think scoring goals is going to be a little bit of an issue.
Well, is Bamford still out, Danny? Is it long term?
Still out injured. It just seems to keep breaking down, which is really unfortunate for him. Since he had that sort of fantastic debut season, where he gets 17 goals that year, he's been out injured pretty much ever since.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.